What's cracking, guys? Omar Isaf here, back with another video. In this video today, we haven't done one for several months. I don't know why. They seem to be popular. A Q&A, a long and loose Q&A. Check this out. Yesterday, Fortis Fitness, or as I like to call it when I'm there, Fortis Fatness, my favorite gym in the whole damn world, this gym right here where I'm filming. We had a barbecue. There's a lot of drinks. We were going to film a long and loose Q&A at the end of the barbecue, so at midnight, but we actually forgot else what happened. I forgot the cable. It's not you, bro. See, this is a team, we don't blame anyone. So someone forgot the cable, we couldn't do it. Unfortunately, now I'm sober, it's gonna be a little bit more intoxicated, a little bit looser. Don't worry about it, I'm still gonna bring the thunder. This is an opportunity for you guys. This is gonna be a Facebook Q&A. I posted on the Facebook. If you don't follow me, the link is in the description. Questions that you guys need answered. Keep in mind, if it's a pretty in-depth question, I'm probably gonna make a video on it. I can't choose everyone's question, so if I didn't answer your question, I apologize, bro or broette. Without further ado, let's get started. And it goes without saying, if you guys like these Q&As and you want to see it more frequently, it seems like you guys have been asking me, like, do more Q&As, make sure to like the damn video. I'm looking right at you. Alice, how many likes we want?
I haven't done this in a while.
Be realistic.
27,352.
Okay, what are they going to get if they give it 27,000 likes?
More videos.
You gotta learn about incentives, okay? Incentives.
High fives.
Or work on it. 27,000 likes. Anyways, Zohan Noor wants to know, what's your opinion for the ideal body fat percentage? I like this. Where you look lean and shredded, yet you can enjoy outings with your friends and treat yourself, often without harming yourself too much and recover from it. All right, I actually like this question a lot. I would say that for most people out there, the ideal body fat percentage is the intersection of three things: how you look, how you perform in the gym, and how you feel. So when those three things are optimized, those three different goals that you might have, that's your ideal body fat percentage. To put it into raw numbers, I would say that 18% is probably the maximum body fat percentage you should be when you're in a lean mass phase. Why? Well, I do believe there's definitely going to be more research coming in the near future on this. But when we look at that P ratio, the partitioning ratio of when you consume foods, the higher your body fat percentage, the less of that calories that you consume will go towards muscle and the more towards storing fat. So it's a law of diminishing returns. You want to stay relatively lean year round. So 18% is absolutely what I would say the upper threshold. At the same time, some bros that want to get that beach look, especially younger bros where they don't have that muscular foundation from years of lifting, they'll get too lean. They'll obsess over abs. They don't have the requisite hypertrophy for their abs to pop. They think they're still just too fat. They'll diet too far down. Single-digit body fat percentages, so 7%, 8%. That's going to leave you too hungry, not sustainable if you do go out socialize, and your performance in the gym is probably going to suffer. Minimum amount would be a 9%, more like 10% for most people, upwards of 15 or 16 percentage points. And that's sustainable for most people out there. Me, at my leanest in the last year, I was probably 10.5%. I was happy. Dieting was smooth. It was a slow, steady progress. I had abs. I was happy. That was about 10.5%. Most of the time, I'm more like 12, 13, or maybe 14%. That's probably what I'm around right now, between a true like 13, 14% maybe body fat percentage on the upper scale. Again, I'm always a little harsh on myself because I want to give a realistic view of things. I would say the ideal body fat percentage of where you perform well, you feel good, and you look good. You get to eat what you want. You get to perform. You're lifting weight. You don't feel like you're in starvation mode. Your lifts in the gym don't suffer. Is between that 10, maybe 9, 10 to 15 to 16% body fat. That's your ideal range for most people out there when it comes to males. Jerome Nanyenye, I'm going to take a guess. If you read this, let me know if I got it right. I butcher everyone's name. I'm sorry, my man. What's the best way for someone to go about building true strength as well as keeping aesthetics? The struggle between looking good but also wanting to be strong as fuck. I feel you, dude. And most people, maybe comment guys in the comment section below, what side you are when it comes to this spectrum, because it is true. If you want to optimize aesthetics, training for strength, really wanting to get strong will be detrimental for you. In the long run, having a stronger base can only assist you when it comes to building size, but it's not absolutely necessary to build muscle. There's a lot of people actually that are, let's say, moderately strong, but also very aesthetic because they chose to focus more on that. You can do both at once. That's why people call it power building and get decent results. But what I tend to say, you have to kind of decide what camp you're in or where you want to be currently in your training. I tend to gravitate towards the strength side. Performance, trying to lift more instead of look better, because I know that'll come with time. I would say for most people out there, you have to decide between the two and then manage it. Every single year, I think you could have different phases. The phases where people could call off-season when it comes to powerlifting, but the phases that you want to build more muscle, you do a lot more volume, you do more frequency, and you hit up lagging muscles. So this would mean lower overall intensity, so maybe training between 60 to maybe 80% maximum, training 4, 5, 6 times per week, really hitting up those body parts you want to grow. That's an off season. That could be 12, 16, 24 weeks. For a lot of people, actually, that could be most of their training. And then when they want to get stronger, a competition block, 12, 16 weeks, 20 weeks. I'm currently doing that for the rest of this year right here because I'm close to hitting some big strength numbers when it comes to the squat and on the deadlift. I'll lower all that extra stuff, so training my extra legging muscles, extra sets, extra volume. I'll lower that. I'll focus more on intensity. I'll usually train more like 70, 75%, upwards of 85, even 90%, and then I'll PR. So those two phases, what you want to do, have that off season, more volume, less intensity, more frequency, train the body parts you want to grow, and then that other phase of your training where you really want to get strong, and so what you do, you increase the frequency of the movements you want to do, that specificity, you essentially remove all the fluff accessory movements for body parts. Now you're no longer trying to grow, you're just trying to get stronger, and you cycle between those two styles of training. I think would produce the best results for most people out there. Curtis Robson wants to know, do you have any advice for people who don't fall under your more typical archetype? So he's 6'7", 330 pounds. You know what that is, bro? And 35% body fat. That means you're just a mountain in training, okay? The mountain's 6'9", he's 390 pounds, you're not that far away. I have to lose a great deal of fat before I can make a true sense of the vast majority of gain. So what should I do? For someone out there, honestly, so let's say you're a lot taller than normal, maybe your body fat percentage is higher, look at the long game. For someone like you, because you're bigger overall, smaller guys, that's why people tend to ask that question. Why do smaller guys look more jacked or make more progress? It's because they have to add less total muscle to their frame to look like they lift. A bigger guy, if you're 6'7", just equate that in raw absolute pounds. I'm making up numbers here, but let's say you got to add 80 pounds of muscle to your frame to really look like you lift. A smaller guy would be like 40 pounds, maybe 50 pounds. That represents years of training. Your ability to synthesize muscle will depend upon the individual, but it doesn't mean just because you're bigger, you'll synthesize it a lot faster. This means you need to train longer. So I would focus, dude, on losing weight over time. Get from 35 percentage points, you're 6'7", to probably around 20%. I'd say just to start, right? So really lean down. Still focus on strength. Do all the movements that you need to be doing. Do a little bit of extra work outside the gym. So find a sport, pick that up, learn the proper eating habits, get down to a healthy body fat percentage, and then be prepared for a long duration lean mass phase. So at least a year, year and a half, 2 years, and I guarantee at the end of this cycle, let's say this will take you 2.5, 3 years, you'll look a lot better, would have built a lot more muscle, and you'll see that big difference. But be prepared because you're bigger, it's gonna take a little bit longer, but still, it will be worth it. The mountain actually told me, he weighed 105 kilos at 6'9", so he was 235 pounds at 6'9". You think, oh, like 235 pounds at 6'9"? No, to equate that for someone that's like 5'9", that probably would have been him at 5'9", starting at about 135 pounds. So just think about that. Everyone starts at some point. Oh, Els, you feeling fancy today. In fact, I want you right now, Els, just stay like that. I'm gonna take a photo of you. I want you, when you ask the question, I don't know if that's an anterior pelvic tilt or you've been doing a lot of hip thrusts. I don't know what's going on. All I gotta say is you're gonna release a booty blaster program, bro. Those fit chicks don't know what about to hit them. They don't know what's gonna hit them. They're all gonna be out of business. There's just gonna be the Els ass program. They're gonna be on the streets like crying like, we used to make so much money with our glute programs. Then Els came along with the Els ass program. We're never the same. Els handpicked a question, because that's what he does. He actually just sent me a screenshot with multiple questions, but I know which one you probably want. Sam McKenzie wants to know, would you consider future collabs with psychologist-type people about motivation and mindset? Absolutely. Actually, Leanna Carr, Alberto Nunez's girlfriend, who was up here in Toronto, she's studying that when it comes to motivation, the psychology of sports. I think it'd be great to feature her. Also, on a broader sense, I am with a buddy of mine. A plan is to launch a podcast in the future that is not just fitness related. And so we talk about a clinical psychologist, someone like that. I would love to get, because I know he's also in Toronto, Jordan Peterson would be someone that I'd want to get on that podcast if we do in fact launch that. That wouldn't be quite fitness related, pure fitness or anything like that, but the podcast would be more general. So those would be my answer when it comes to maybe someone fitness related and then not non-fitness related. Well, I got one. Tyrannosaurus Cox, like that name. Imagine that's his real name. He's like, bro, why are you making fun of my name? It is Tyrannosaurus Cox. What assistance exercises should I do to build a monster OHP? Very good question. I've made videos on increasing the overhead press. I'm still learning new things because it is the lift. I probably had to put in the most amount of work besides the squat in order to improve. I would say when it comes to assistance movements, it depends upon where you're weak. Bottom position strength, top position. If it's top, it's likely triceps. You're trying to get momentum from that start position. It's much like a deadlift overhead press where it starts from absolutely no momentum. A squat, you get that rebound, you have the eccentric, then the concentric. Same idea with the bench press. Overhead press, dead stop. So I'd say with that in mind, a few different, some of my favorite accessory movements would actually be the push press when it's done right. Just to work on that lockout. For me, I don't have a problem getting it to about above my head. The lockout becomes hard. I got the delts when it comes to strength. I don't have, huge delts or traps, but my triceps will tend to give out where I reach all the way up here and then just to lock it out, get that elbow extension. Basically, at that point, it's pretty much mainly elbow extension. It's not really happening. So for me, a push press, something like that. I would also tend to focus on pause reps. I don't know if you do touch and go on the overhead press or pause reps. Recently, I've done a lot of pause reps in order to reset, get the exact same circumstance for every single repetition, make it repeatable. I would say the pause OHP for me, as well as the push press, would be staples when it comes to assistance movements on the overhead press. Ben Schlagenhoft wants to know, is it possible to build respectable wheels without squats? Absolutely. So I think this might be, I don't think it's that controversial. I don't think there's any must-have movement. I think there are certain movements that are a good idea to make staples in your training. So the squat, right? The bench press when it comes to developing the chest, the deadlift when it comes to the posterior chain. But by no means do you have to do any movement. If you're a taller dude, I'll give a few different examples. If you're a taller dude and when it comes to your morphology, it just feels awkward all the time, despite trying to increase your dorsiflexion, just get into parallel in the squat. Things ache, your knees ache, your hips ache. You've spent a lot of time and you're still squatting 2 plates and making no progress, then you're not really stimulating those muscles that you need in order for them to grow. You could have spent all that time doing, honestly, something like a leg press. I'm not someone that uses the leg press a whole lot, but I do know that if you're trying to fight against your body, if you're getting injured doing a particular movement, so let's just say squats. Squats never clicked for you. They felt super awkward. For me, it took years and years. And as a result of that, because I was still squatting, not really doing a lot of variations, I wasn't getting enough volume, intensity, all those things. I was essentially fighting my body. My legs weren't really growing. Only in the last few years where I really got it down pat, my squat form, I'm doing a lot better with that. Have they grown? But if that's not you, if your goal is not to get stronger, you could sub it out. I'm not talking doing quarter reps on the leg press. Full range of motion, also doing more unilateral work, so you do a lot of Bulgarian split squats, reverse lunges, let's say glute hip thrusts, a Brecken Triss, all those things combined together, you can absolutely build a great set of wheels not doing squats. It all depends upon your goal. I'm someone that loves and talks about strength training, getting stronger, just getting better when it comes to performance. That doesn't mean that has to be your goal or what you do, my man. If you don't want to squat, if it just feels weird, don't worry about it. I'm not here to judge you. Much. A lot. Alice wants to know, why aren't girls swiping right on Tinder for me? Bro, we're going to help you out here. No joke. Alice, do this. Dude, do this. Show your Tinder profile and show the photos you selected, and maybe people in the comment section will just block off, obviously, like any personal stuff, but just show your description and the photo, and let's let the internet, oh, bro, they'll be like, bro, you need to you need to be on top of a tiger, you need like a gun in your hand, something like that. It's no pressure. Well, why is that pressure?
It's a lot of pressure.
But Alice, you can handle it. Alice, breathe, baby.
That's like having my dick out in the locker room, bro.
You always need to have your dick out in the locker room.
I'll stick with my towel.
Did you say I'll stick with my Cairo?
Towel.
Oh. No, what is annoying is like the old dude that's like naked, like up in your grill, like for sure. I don't mean like that, but. Eduardo, most YouTubers use steroids. Will you ever use steroids and why? I mean, I've already talked about this in detail, but for me, for myself, I don't think that steroids will add anything to me that I can't achieve naturally. In that, for me, training is about the journey, the things that I learn, the dedication and focus I'm able to put into that. Steroids would enhance my performance, but it wouldn't change the amount of effort that I personally put in, which is what is important to me. Long term, let's say when I'm in my 40s, something like TRT, so testosterone replacement therapy, might be something to consider. So I'm open to that, and I don't know if you guys would quantify that as steroids, but basically as you get a lot older, something like that, maybe if my testosterone levels, if I'm no longer rock hard in a funky place, that's very important to me. But would I use super physiological doses, and that's what you would consider steroids? I have no intention of doing that. I am team no calves. I know who I am. I'm happy. I'm also no world champion athlete that wants to compete at that top level where I'd even be enticed in that sense. I like what I do. I like what I live. I like the whole process. That's all there really is. Would something like steroids enhance? That's why people say all the time, those that use but don't talk about it. Would it enhance your overall profile, make more people follow you? Yeah. Guys, when it comes to fitness, when it comes to social media, basically having muscles is like the girl that has big boobs when it comes to the other spectrum, where you would attract a lot more people. Say, damn, he's in shape. He's in such good shape. He knows what he's talking about. There's so many young, impressionable bros. This knowledge bro side, whatever you want to call it, that we have built up, several YouTubers, it's still just a microcosm of the whole grand universe that is fitness, and it's kind of sad. But if we keep fighting the good fight, I think we are going to make a big change, a huge impact overall. I do get that when people come up to me, it is satisfying to know, it's like, hey man, I found your videos helpful, I did this, I did that. That's why we do it, that's why I like to lift. End of story. Now synthol in my calves, on the other hand, Alex, that's like,
That's a must.
that's, I mean, well guys, that is all the time we have. Thank you so much for watching the video. If you liked the video, I'm looking right at you. Like the damn video. Final announcement I gotta make. Gnosis Singularity, the pre-workout that I came out with. You guys have been really enjoying. There's been so much support. I thank you guys for that support. First off, it's in stock online. If you're in America, it's $5 shipping anywhere. It's a no bullshit, clinically dosed pre-workout at an affordable price. 30 servings, $29. 8 grams of citrulline malate. Get some. Compared to any other pre-workout, bro. I dare you. Why settle for less? Anyways, gnosisnutrition.com. It's finally in stock if you want to pick it up. If you're in Canada, I got a lot of Canadian bros saying, yo man, shipping's killing me. What about that exchange rate? I got you. Check it out. Finally, at Fortis Fitness here in Toronto, if you're in Toronto, you can pick one up. It's $40 Canadian, tax included. Everything's included. You'll get even a handshake from House. $40. Check it out. While supplies last. You can now pick it up at Fortis Fitness. A lot of people have been asking me. I thank Sean for setting this up. We want to align ourselves with gyms that have our same core value. Fortis Fitness is the best gym I've ever been to, so it makes complete sense. Anyways, it's at Fortis Fitness. For those that have been asking me, I got to get out of here. Thank you so much for watching the video. I'm out. I'll see you guys, my rascals, in that next video. Peace! Oh, you don't believe me that it's at Fortis. I've been promising it for a while. They don't believe. Haters.
Haters.
You know what it's time for, else?
Dab on my haters.
Hater reps.
Eat your vegetables, eat your vegetables, eat your fucking vegetables.